Welcome to this IS-4 replay here on Erlenberg, and the IS-4 is being played for us by Black Gold Son. He's platooned up with Arkel in the T110E4 TD. And IS-4 is a bit of an oddball. I think Black and me and Arkel actually, we played this game when the IS-4 was tier 9, and as a tier 9 tank it was absolutely amazing. It was such a nice heavy tank. And then Wargaming basically moved it to tier 10, and at the time didn't change the armor much, and made the gun more potato. So the IS-4 was a really mediocre heavy tank actually at that point in time. And that was also the time that I just sold the vehicle, because I was I played the tier 9, it was awesome, played the tier 10 and it was no longer awesome, so I just stopped playing it altogether, just sold it for credits. Because at the time I didn't have that much credits, I wasn't in clan, so I just needed the money, and that was like, what, 5 years ago. So anyway, I recently myself bought back the IS-4 because I had a shit ton of credits and the tier 10s came on discount, and I basically bought 3 tier 10s at once, or 4, which I didn't really want to buy, but I just picked them up, and I started playing the IS-4 again occasionally. And at the moment it's actually, the armor is really quite nice. The gun is still absolutely potato and should definitely get a buff in the aim time and dispersion, because this tank is still balanced for the old world of tanks, where if you had good armor it meant that either your gun was potato or your speed was crap. But that is no longer the case in World of Tanks, because as we can see with tanks like the Type 5 or the Mouse, they can have great armor and they can actually have great guns as well, or really effective guns. So this tank really needs some love as well. It's one of the things people on the forums as well agree on. The IS-4 definitely needs some improvement in the gun handling. The rest is fine. Armor doesn't need any buffs. The mobility is fine as well. It just needs to hit shots slightly better. It doesn't have to be laser accurate, but the dispersion needs to be updated to 2018 values instead of 2011. But yeah, Black has been pushing up relatively aggressive here, and here he tries to actually help a teammate who's in a bit of a predicament. IS-5 there overextended and basically got rushed, and people like that Chrysler GF, people that just blatantly rush in, disregarding their own tank, their own health, their own safety, just to either frustrate enemy players, be annoying, or try to get some damage. Those are, I think, personally speaking, the most annoying people to play against, because they're completely unpredictable and they'll happily throw away their own vehicle if it means they can do one shot of damage to you or get you killed by it, even if it means they get themselves killed. So they're hard to play against in that respect, because good players you can predict what they'll do. Bad players you can pretty much predict their positioning, but it's harder to predict what they'll actually do once you put them under pressure. They have the tendency to do the most weird actions. But Black here is making a controlled push on this flank. Enemy T110 is over there. He got penetrated by the AMX M48 Ford. 250 damage, so that guy is using a 90mm gun, so that has what, 212 penetration, so he must have actually hit the lower front plate or something. And here comes the second contestant for this award. This T110E4 clearly sees that Black has got backup, pushes out like a retard, managed to put one shot in and gets his tank completely destroyed. People like that are just unpredictable. They're just annoying to play against. They're just rushing for no reason, basically. So Black is still nicely bouncing shots. He managed to bounce an APCR shot from the waffle. So yeah, that's quite nice and effective. And now he moves up to this FV. Puts a nice shot in. He gets tracked by the FV, and now he's in a bit of a predicament, because he's in the open and he's on the wrong side of this T110E4 rack. That shot goes believe it or not, actually went into the ground in front of the FV. That's what I mean with the gun handling needs improvement. Shots at those ranges should never go so far out of the aiming reticle, and the shot should never be so potato. But yeah, in a quick succession he receives quite a bit of damage, and it might actually be 100mm that AC is using, because now he's doing 300 damage. But anyway, he receives damage from the RT and the TD. He's down to 500 HP, and he's making sure to keep this T110E5 rack in between him and the RT. So even if the RT tries to shoot at him, there's a good chance he'll hit the rack. Shoots the Klingon side armor of the IS-3 there, doing no damage, but the IS-3 is not going through. And there we go, the RT splashes into the rack, and I really thought that Wargaming said earlier that if you shoot a tank rack, all the damage get absorbed, but maybe they actually finger quotes fixed that. So now it does do damage when you hit that tanks. But anyway, Black managed to put enough pressure on the enemy team to actually engage this flank successfully, and puts a nice shot into the waffle, which was pretty unexpected. He moves forward and then decides to stop, so if the RT was firing, he'll miss, and he gets spotted, but puts a nice shot into the RT. So yeah, IS-4. Let's take a little look at the results. So there we go, ace tanker obviously, steel wall and the high caliber. No further medals. He managed to get a combined total of 1276 base XP, which is actually quite nice on a tier 10 tank. 5100 damage, which is really nice as well. Arkel only did 2.6k, but he was further back and just trying to shoot what Black was spotting. In total 20 shots fired, 17 hits, 14 penetration. Managed to block nearly 5k damage himself, did 5k himself, and he did 3.1k assistance damage as well. So a really nice and effective tier 10 replay, if you ask me. Managed to get ace tanker 5 times XP, so 8000 XP, which is not too shabby either. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, feel free to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next time.